This is going to be part 2 of my Pragmatic Numerology series. For those who haven't listened to the first part of this series, you'll want to go back and do that. In this part of the series, I'm going to talk about the numbers 4 through 6. And the next, I'll talk about 7 through 9. You may notice that when we depart from 3 and move to 4, our model gains significant dimensionality. By the time we get to 6, you may notice that this all takes on a definitely human tone. That's not a mistake, and I didn't leave the rest of the world out of the model. In part 4 of this series, I'll explain why the complexity of the decimal system is not linear, and why starting out with 1 enables me to easily describe all things in reality. But by the time I get to 9, I'm describing something that is distinctly and exclusively human. When we take a step above 3 to 4, we take our system, whichever the system that is, and we add a point of constructive control to it, making it stable. Therefore, 4 represents constructivity. The law of 4 is system stability. A system built around the law of 3 with a 4th point of control is a system which is capable of maintaining stable operation. It is a system which can be prevented from imploding, exploding, displacing, or otherwise losing stability. Take the average human body as example. With 4 limbs intact, your body is capable of doing all manner of extraordinary things. With 4 legs on a table, that table becomes suitable to work on, not just to place things on. This is why you often see furniture that's intended for utilitarian purposes designed around the law of 4. It'll either have 4 legs, or the footing of it will be built as a square, rectangle, or rhombus. So long as said furniture isn't too tall, it'll be extremely difficult to tip over from the top. Let's talk about some natural systems which have 4th control points. The water, as previously mentioned, is governed in its evaporation and condensation system by the air. The air is governed by heating or cooling forces. Heating and cooling systems, which are actually additions or subtractions of raw energy, are governed by extraterrestrial bodies. By that, I mean planets or stars. Again, we take a plant as example. Its life is literally throttled by temperature. The plant, like every living thing, has a cycle of birth, living, and death. This life cycle is dependent on temperature. Over time, a plant's genetics will adapt to soil conditions, lighting, pests, and disease, etc. But if temperature is too far out of parameters, that plant will cease to live. This is why there aren't very many types of plants in the colder regions of the world. And as you go farther north or you go farther south toward those poles, you're going to find no plants at all. 0, none. Temperature will ensure that the plant never lives to produce viable seed if it's too hot or too cold. And that plant's lineage will end in the 1st year. This is because the temperature directly affects the water flow through the plant's tissues more than any other factor. Temperature is the 4th control point in that system. Now we come to the number 5. Here we take our system with 1 control point, and we increase our ability to balance that system in a chaotic environment by 1 order of magnitude. Think of a hand with 4 fingers and no thumb compared to a hand with an opposable thumb. The hand with the thumb is now able to grip objects and hold on to them. It can shape clay. It can start a fire. Holding objects shaping clay, and starting fires are the absolute prerequisites to carrying out a human existence. This is where it all begins for a human. Holding the rock or club enables you to dispatch animals large enough to feed you sufficiently to begin to escape the animalistic survival cycle, the same as starting fires does. Shaping enables you to create pottery, which enables you to carry and store water. It enables you to create structure, arrowheads, etc. Think about where you would be as a human without the ability to do these things, without a thumb. It all hinges around the thumb, which is the 5th digit on the hand. The law of 5 is manipulation. The hand with the thumb is capable of tooling. By tooling, I mean the ability to create and or use physical objects as implements of manipulation. 4 fingers can manipulate things in the world, as can 4 claws or a hoof. But the 5-digited hand of the human and the primate is exclusive in its ability to engage in tooling. Tooling puts the extremes of the world under the control of the human. From a stick used to extract things out of a hole, to a blade, to rope, all the way to electricity and power tools, tooling enables the human to engage in mastery. Mastery is the law of 6. 6 is about mastery. That'll be the end of this segment of Pragmatic Numerology. Thanks for listening.